Now, the second method that I want to talk about is using Google to gauge how much interest there is in your app idea or your startup idea. So, a really useful tool is called Google Trends, and you can find the link in the text box below this video. And essentially, what it does is that it shows you interest over time of a particular search term, and you can compare search terms with each other. So, this is where you put in a particular niche that you're interested in targeting, be that Pokemon Go or be that travel apps or whatever it is that you are looking to build. You can put in the problem that your idea addresses or the potential positive effect that your idea or product will provide. So basically you just put your search term in here and you can determine whether if you're looking at worldwide data or a particular country and look at the time period. So for example, the word Pokemon started really hitting the search engines around summer of 2016 when Pokemon Go was due to be released. And then you see this huge spike and then you see the interest waning here. So you can look at things like interest over time, whether if it's growing, whether if it's waning, and to see if you're at a time point where it's optimal to launch. And the other thing is that you can look at interest by region to see which countries you should be targeting with your particular idea. So it seems like most people who are searching for Pokemon is actually in the Philippines or in Chile or in Singapore. And, that might guide your localization efforts. It might mean that you might translate your app, etc., etc. The other thing that you can look at is the related topics that people search for when they're looking for Pokemon. So people looking around GPS, they're looking for the Sun and Moon, which is the Pokemon game that was released recently. And you can look at essentially the search terms around your search term. So for any given topic, you can see what is it that people are interested to know about. And then if you look at the search volumes of particular search terms, you can estimate how much of an audience or how much interest people will have around the things that you're going to build and you're going to make. So a slightly more refined way of doing this is using the Google AdWords tool called Keyword Planner. And Keyword Planner gives you a little bit more information. So this tool is intended for people who are looking to create Google Ads. That's essentially, that top part in Google search, which is an advertisement for a website. But it's also really useful for gauging how much competition your idea has and how much in terms of numbers are people actually searching for these particular search terms. Essentially, all that you're doing is putting in keywords. Now, they can be as long or as short as you want. And the keywords are essentially what you expect people to be putting into Google search. So essentially, when you're in Keyword Planner, you want to go for the Get Search Volumes Data Trends. And you want to put in your keywords that relate to what it is that your app or your idea does or what problems it solves for the user. These are words that the user would put into Google. So, for example, say if you were going to sell hair extensions, you could just put hair extensions and get search volume to see in the US over the last 12 months how many people are searching for hair extensions. You can see that average per month you get about 100K to 1 million searches, so that's quite a lot. And the competition is quite high. That means there's other people who are targeting this keyword to advertise. That means you've got other people who are trying to monetize something relating to this. Now, these numbers are only there as a guide, but they can help you determine whether if you will have large enough audience who will want to buy whatever it is that you're making. Say if we're making an app that is about tattoo ideas. Let's see how much the search volume there is for that. Now, there is about 100K to 1 million monthly searches, so that's again high. There's a lot of people looking for tattoo ideas, but the competition is low. There's not a lot of people targeting it. That's good on one hand, but then you have to ask yourself, why aren't there other people doing this? Is it because they're not able to, or is it because they can't monetize it? So these are questions that you have to answer about your particular niche or your particular idea. But Google AdWords combined with Google Trends are both really, really useful ways of gauging how much interest there could be in your idea or in your product. And one of the key things is looking at trends. So this is the search data for hair extensions over something like 10 years. And you can look at the trends for people searching. So, for example, if you're at this part of the graph, maybe you would feel like, yeah, it's probably a good idea to start a business that does something to do with hair extensions. But when you're at this part of the graph, does it still make sense? You can essentially look at this as a predictor for how much interest there is in your niche or in your product, and use it as a guide to determine whether if your idea is a good one that you should pursue, or if you should think about some of your other ideas that might be better.